According to Google, my net worth is $4 million. Now, unfortunately for me, this is it's fake news. But fortunately for you, over the last 10 years, I have been obsessed about reading financial books and learning from some of the most successful people in history, talking to other millionaires, and it's going to be tips and things that I have learned from all of these people, along with some insights from my own personal experience that I'm going to be sharing in this video, including one tip that still makes me about $2,000 a month. So if you're not subscribed already, it's completely free. You can always unsubscribe later. Let's get started. Everything popular is wrong. Most of my life, I just wanted to be like a normal guy. I just wanted to blend in, have a normal job, live in a normal house, just be a normal person. Like that was literally what I was shooting for. And while there is absolutely nothing wrong with that, much like Stephen Richards says, if you do what everybody else does, you will get what everybody else gets. And since only 8.8% of American adults are millionaires, if I do what the majority of people are doing, I will definitely not become a millionaire by 30. So that's why kind of my first thing that I'm really focusing on is being okay with being different and also actively looking to be different. If the main thing that a lot of people are doing is going to school, chasing a career, chasing the bigger box to live in and nicer car and flashier clothes, then that's probably not the right thing to do if I want to reach some of these goals that I have set for myself. And it's not just trying to be a contrarian, and if everybody's drives one way on the highway, I'm going to drive the other way. Instead, it's kind of just looking at common assumptions that people have made that we've been told. For instance, most people like the security of having a job, working for somebody else, getting a paycheck every week, not having to stress about stuff. But then again, most people also retire with next to no money. What is much weirder and scarier is starting your own business, having complete control over whether you fail or whether you succeed. So pretty much if you want to build wealth quickly, you can't just follow the normal path. Now this brings me into using other people, which I know sounds kind of horrible, but it's in a good way. Albert Einstein once said that I don't need to know everything, I just need to know where to find it when I need it. And as a high school dropout, I can assure you that I do not know everything. I know very little. But since I realize that I don't know a lot of things, I hire people who are experts in certain fields so I can stay in my lane and they can help me exponentially in their lanes. So for me, that's hiring property managers, tax consultants, people to help with my business. If I can pay somebody whose entire life is dedicated to one thing, instead of trying to learn that myself, it is so much more efficient and ends up saving me a lot of time and money to focus on the things that I am actually good at. As I've met more successful people, I've realized how many of them talk about their team, the people around them, and they really help each other out with everybody bringing their own strengths into the table so you don't have to do everything yourself. And ideally, I want everybody I work with to be smarter than me, which leads me into my next point, and that is to avoid weaknesses. In one of my favorite books, The 4-Hour Work Week, Tim Ferriss said, "It is far more lucrative and fun to leverage your strengths instead of attempting to fix all the chinks in your armor." Now, I have absolutely been taking this to heart. I always kind of grew up as you work on your weaknesses. It's something that we've heard a lot, but what has been much more efficient and lucrative in my life has just been leaning into the things that I am actually skilled and talented at naturally and then outsourcing everything else. Most of us have heard that the average millionaire has 7 streams of income, but as I've talked to a lot more millionaires, I've realized that most of them became millionaires through one, possibly 2 things, but mostly it's one thing. So instead of working on a bunch of different things, I am focusing all my energy into just one thing. It took me quite a while to find that thing. I had to look at the skills that I already had, look at my past experiences in life. I had to try like 20 different things before I found a couple that actually worked. The first one that worked was investing in real estate, something that I was good at, I enjoyed doing. And then that has eventually turned into YouTube. One of the few skills that I have is talking to a camera. So instead of forcing that square peg into a round hole, find what your round hole is. And that was a horrible analogy. So instead of just always working harder, look at the skills that you do have, the ones that make you the most money right now, or that you're naturally talented at, and see if you can expand on those. Growth. Robert Kiyosaki said in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, "The single most valuable asset that we have is our mind. If it is trained well, it can create enormous wealth." Now, opportunities, getting lucky, and getting wealthy are largely made in your brain. Like working hard is important, but a lot of it is knowledge based. And this is where every major success I've ever had came from. For me, because I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and then that led into other books. I bought my first house hack at 22 and then a second one, and now I'm on my third one. And those first two make me about $2,000 a month relatively passively. And it all came from one idea, like one page of one book that has already made me tens of thousands and will eventually make me hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars over my lifetime. And he may have even made the whole book up. It doesn't really matter. There are a few things that I've gleaned from certain people or books or conversations that have completely changed the trajectory of my life. I've realized that when I used to look at people who might be worth $10 million or have crazy cars or houses, which I don't really want, but it doesn't really matter. There's no real difference between you and them or me and them. All it is knowledge and taking action on that knowledge. For the most part, some of it's luck, but a lot of people just know something that I don't know. So if I want to know that stuff, I need to learn it and read. I need to continue being a financial minimalist. Well, financial minimalism encompasses a bunch of stuff. The main thing that is super important is keeping my expenses low as everything else starts to scale. I've known people who made hundreds of thousands of dollars a year and they were in a horrible spot financially just because as they make more money, they spend more money. It's lifestyle inflation. It's keeping up with the Joneses. And this is something that I have to continue to really focus on and be extremely cautious about, because especially early on in your life when you're not earning as much, that money is going to be a lot more important because of the effects of compound interest. Like if you invest $1,000 when you're 20 versus 30 when you're 60, it's going to be crazy what the difference is. I think it's just really important to always look at the compound effects of everything in your life, whether that's spending money, the couple dollars a day that adds up, the wasting time on social media, but also the good things, going to the gym consistently, learning about money consistently. It's working on those things that make you the most money consistently and not doing a bunch of the other crap that gets in the way and tries to bog us down. It's by doing all of those things that I plan to become a millionaire by 30, which I'm 27 right now, so I gotta pull it together. By the way, if you're looking to start investing or saving money, you can check out Webull with the link down in the description to get up to 12 free fractional shares when you fund an account with any amount. They also have a new cash management account that has a 4.1% interest. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next week.